expectation kills reality of the moment, because you're already projecting and putting yourself into that. And I can remember that in my former marriage, I basically lived my grandparents' ideal. I believed I was in the most devoted, most romantic, the most ideal marriage. And of course, that's not real. But that I really believed with my heart and soul that there was no marriage that could possibly be as deep and as loving and as caring and compassionate. Now, the truth of the matter is, anytime anything happened that didn't fit into that, I would deny it, pretend it wasn't so. So, for instance, he could be in a rage at me.
Right.
I mean, just shouting at me. And immediately that sense of, well, I'm noble and he must be in pain, and sending him love because, you know, he's obviously in pain to be shouting at me, and of course he adores me, and it must hurt him so terribly to be angry at me like this. And that was the whole story I was spinning. I was still living the story, even though reality was showing me, that isn't what was happening. What was happening is he was pissed off with me. But instead, internally, I was still spinning the story of this perfect, amazing, romantic marriage, this legendary marriage. And part of my role that I had to play was being noble and compassionate, understanding and wise.
What was taking place under the surface with that, though? Because again, you know, what you're explaining is the same as I was saying. There's a surface story taking place here, but the emotional truth deep down is rather different.
It was all a defense. The whole thing, it was just a defense. I didn't know at the time it was a defense.
What were you feeling deep down inside?
Deep down inside, I was terrified. You know, that much anger coming my way, it was dissolving my whole image of this perfect love that we were sharing. And it was like everything that I knew to be reality would be cracking and falling apart and devastated. And I couldn't face that, so I had to keep projecting love as a means to avoid this unbelievable, terrifying disillusion of the illusion. And deeper than that, a feeling that if that illusion died, I would die. I would cease to exist. That reality would cease to exist. And so the way I defended against that was by projecting that love in the face of, you know, anger coming out my way. And I think it's quite subtle, although this may not sound subtle, but it can be quite subtle the way that we play these games.
It seems subtle when we live through it, I think. You know, when we look back, it
different. Seems pretty gross.
It's bringing up a deeper response in me to say that for sure I was blaming of my partner a lot of the time in my story. But if I open and kind of drop underneath that, what I'm left with again is the kind of, you know, the Pip story from Great Expectations, that I'm not enough. I don't have the wherewithal to meet this perfection in my life.
Yeah.
That even when it shows up, even when I fall headlong in love, that I'm not enough. And then that's unmeetable at that time. And so the projection comes, you know, the defense comes, and then the ugliness in my behavior in the face of what I've experienced time and time again. Huge love available, huge love in the relationship, but not able to really let go, not able to surrender, and some defense of the image comes into place to just hold it at bay.